Didn't always occur for them last year, but that's great. Under pressure, they've retained the lead.
But of course, they are under investigation. We have to wait and see what the stewards, they're going to review that incident. New Zealand and France coming out together. New Zealand at the head of the pit, exit, France further back down.
Yeah, I say retain the lead. In fact, it's still the Dutch car in the lead of this race because the Netherlands have not been into the pits yet. But once they have been, then you will see Team Switzerland regain the top spot. Monaco as well have not been into the pits. So the two cars, Netherlands and Monaco, showing first and second on the screen. That's completely correct, but we're waiting for them to come into the pits for that mandatory pit stop. Here's the battle for what will become second between New Zealand and France.
And I mean, good work by the Team New Zealand engineers to get Earl Bamber in and out as quickly as they've done.
Let's get some news on those pit stops. James Hinchcliffe, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Ben, well, it's actually not so much that the New Zealand crew had a necessarily blindingly quick pit stop, it's more that there was a problem on the French car. The left front tire changer did not properly get the wheel gun removed and actually ran around the car without the gun. He then, of course, had to go back, remove the gun, and that's what held up Loic. Now, you've seen that New Zealand is currently under investigation, and that's for an unsafe release into pit lane. So there's going to be a little bit of a look into that, but so far we've heard from the guys on pit wall that they're comfortable, they won't be penalised.
Great, thanks for that, James. And then meanwhile, the race leader, Team Netherlands, into the pits, Monaco in as well. Now then, has this tactic worked for Johan Bleekemolen? Good stop. Where will it bring him back out? That's the big question.
It's always the gamble whether you come at the beginning of the pit stop window or wait a little bit. Virtually, it's going to be closed at the end of this lap. So we've only got 4 laps to go.
There we go.
11-lap race.
So New Zealand and France come through. Netherlands still coming down pit lane, so he's going to be behind Portugal.
Ireland are going to be ahead of them as well.
Yeah, behind Ireland. Is he going to be in front of Italy? Italy coming down. He's going to get out in front of Italy. So he has gained just a little bit there by staying out for that fraction longer. Not perhaps quite as much as they would have liked, but it has gained them. Remember, he was 9th on the grid here, so he was behind Italy. He was behind Mexico, but of course Mexico dropped quite a long way down, so it did work to a certain extent.
On board with Loic Duval through turn 5 again, feathering the throttle, just keeping the car balanced on the steering of the throttle, looking back from the New Zealand car. You look at the way the car's moving around. There's an element of aerodynamic effect on the French car, but basically it's just the fact that the car's moving around.
So yeah, back on board. We're riding with Loic Duval in this battle for second place. This is the tightest confrontation really on circuit. Earl Bamber for New Zealand, the youngster, ahead of the French car of Loic Duval. Duval, who knows this track very well, they both do, although the first time Earl Bamber's driven anything as big and powerful as the A1GP car here. Just tell you that Malaysia has come down to the pits, but meanwhile we've got some news on Great Britain. Diana, what can you tell us?
The team had to bring the car back in at the beginning, really. The car was stuck in gear. They've been changing the ECU. That's why he's not been back out on track, but he's behind the wheel now and just about to get back out there to put in a few laps.
Okay, thanks for that, and he will no doubt try and get fastest lap, which at the moment belongs to Switzerland on a 1 minute 49.388. Danny will have some power boost available to him. I'm sure he'll try and use it.
He's going to have 4 shots on, I would imagine, so he'll get back out of track and tyres. It'll be much fresher than now the rest of the field. So there's an opportunity for Danny to go out, get that single point, take it away from Switzerland. And of course that one single point now might mean an awful lot. Come the end of the series, could be the difference between winning and losing.
New fastest lap from Switzerland on that lap, on the new tyres that he changed onto, and he's done a 1 minute 48.5, very rapid from Neil Yarni there. This battle for second still pretty close though between Team New Zealand and France, gap of just half a second between them. Portugal running in 4th place, remember, then Ireland in 5th, followed by the Netherlands in 6th, then Italy, Australia in the points. John Martin, he's up to 8th place though in the points, then South Africa and China.
It's interesting that Switzerland have chosen a new set of tyres and has given them an advantage of a second per lap, but in the control of the race as they are, they maybe didn't need to use that brand new set of tyres at this proceeding.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see on that, but they've got a good advantage of Switzerland, 5.7 seconds up the road from this battle. They're riding on board Loic Duval, and with the telemetry showing us as well as he tries to get a little closer to the back to the Black Beauty.
So down under braking, a bit of oil residue from one of the earlier events on the right hand side of the track. That's that dust or cement you see. So again into turn 11, just to get this balance between power and throttle and steering. Now flat out through turn 12. Is it flat out? No, it's not. Feathering the throttle. So the grip that they enjoyed when the tyre was fresh doesn't take too long to just begin to head away.
Look how close he gets under braking, but difficult.
Problem for New Zealand.
Yeah, he took a very tight line. He's in trouble.
Yeah, that wasn't a tight line. That was, I think, was a problem for New Zealand. He's been overtaken just simply on pace over the corner. Why New Zealand went that way, hard to tell.
Unless he's been told to give the place up, unless the stewards have said you did gain an advantage in the pits, you have to give the place up.
Could be the case. So, situation back to status quo as it was at the start of this race. France back into second place, and may well be the case that New Zealand have been told to give it up to France.
Yep, it could be that, and it's better to do that than pick up a penalty after the race, because then it would be a time penalty and you'd lose a potential podium finish. So probably a sensible option here. Let's just take a look at this again, John.
Yeah, I'm coming into turn 14, and so at this point you suddenly realise that the New Zealand car is slowing down, because there's the pace of France off the exit, pulls over to the right, says or invites, come on France, you're getting your position back, I'm going to fall in behind you, and now we're going to have a race. Here's the onboard from France, as they look how much the New Zealand car slowed down, actually almost wrong putting Loic Duval in France. He probably thought, what's going on? Have they got a problem? No, you're getting your place back.
Let's get down to the pits. James has got some news for us.
Yeah, well, it seems that it's all gone a little bit wrong for Team New Zealand. Despite being confident they were not going to be penalised for that unsafe release into pit lane, it was in fact a message down from race control to Earl Bamber to tell him to let Loic Duval by. So a little bit unfortunate for the boys in New Zealand.
Okay, thanks for confirmation on that, Hitch. Well, he's back up to speed now, and I think we've got a little bit of radio from Team New Zealand. Let's listen into this.
You must let France past you, otherwise you'll get a drive-through penalty.
Well, there we are, confirmation. Drive-through penalty would have been expensive.
I'd like to hear Earl Bamber's reaction to that command from the pit lane. Unfortunately, the radio traffic didn't quite pick that one up.
I'll tell you what, where he decided to back off, there was a bit of psychology in there, wasn't there? Because he did wrong foot Loic Duval, as you said. He made very sure he sort of made life difficult for him. But look at Albuquerque from Portugal, you know. He's caught up here. He's running fourth in the green and red car. Much closer.
Yeah, and he's got 3 power boosts still available, and he's on one of those 3 right now, trying to run down New Zealand and take himself up to the tail of France.
Yeah, so New Zealand's got no power boost left, so he could be under a bit of threat here from Filipe Albuquerque, winner last time out in Chengdu, and showing great pace once again. The young Portuguese driver, a little bit of a wobble there from New Zealand's Earl Bamber. He knows he's got the pressure on him.
So last lap, can Portugal do anything? Can they challenge New Zealand? There's an opportunity into turn 4, not close enough. He's on power boost. He's trying to get himself, but defence from New Zealand. Earl Bamber wise enough to realise, and even at 18 years of age, car coming, you put yourself in the middle of the road, it just stops his chances.
Clever stuff from Albuquerque as well, though. He used power boost in a place that's not quite so common, but it is a useful overtaking opportunity.
But you're up to 260 kilometres per hour, so if you can a high-speed part of the track and use it, then take advantage of it if you got it.
Absolutely. Well, Portugal aren't going to give up this battle. It is for a podium finish, of course. New Zealand holding it at the moment.
Key coming through these final corners into turn 9. Portugal's got to get as close as possible when they come up to turns 13, 14, because he's got that one final shot of power boost left, and his best chance of making use of it will be from here, where Neil Yarney now coming up to win this race through turn 14.
Neil Yarney has come again to Sepang, and he is going to win the sprint race once again for the 3rd year in a row after a dominant effort in qualifying for the sprint race. He has been untouchable in the race. He's just set a new fastest lap as well. And we have our 5th different winner in 5 races in season 4 as Neil Yarney for Team Switzerland wins the sprint race at Sepang.
So we want to go back and have a look and see what's happening. Portugal knew well he didn't get a chance to get past Ireland. Behind Portugal, so status quo on this final lap.
France takes 2nd, New Zealand 3rd, ahead of Portugal. Ireland close behind in 5th. Useful points for them. The Dutch car, the Netherlands finishing in 6th. Points for Italy, finishing in 7th place. They'll be pleased with that. And Monaco still attacking here, trying to get past Lebanon as they come up to the line. Don't think they're quite going to make it. Both outside the points. 11th place goes to Lebanon and 12th to Monaco. Battles all the way through the field there, and despite Clivio Piccioni trying to get past on the line. But John, an absolutely exemplary drive by Neil Yarney.
Yeah, I mean, never really put a wheel wrong, and of course after the restart in that single line, Spiley had another advantage and never even looked like being headed. But what was interesting to me is his single fastest lap was about a second quicker than the rest. That occurred after the mandatory pit stop, and I'm just wondering whether Switzerland opted to go for that single point for fastest lap, bearing in mind they're only going to be starting down on the 8th row of the grid in 16th place for the feature race. So was that a strategy?